homeschool.
Yeah.
Did that shape who you are and who you will be? Because
Yeah.
Wondering how you feel about all the constant speculation about your virginity and whether you are a virgin or not.
I really wish I would have never said anything. To begin with,
Congratulations, you won a Grammy tonight. I'm so proud of you.
Every time an artist suddenly blows up, the internet goes absolutely crazy. The word industry plant starts getting tossed around like confetti, even when most people don't even know what it really means anymore. Everyone wants to expose someone, but not every success is fake. Some artists grind for years before that one breakout moment hits. So let's talk about the real ones, the ones who came up clean, raw, and truly organic.
On the glass, staple your tongue.
These are the artists who need you to believe they came from nothing, that every step was pure hustle and luck. The story has to sound raw, the late nights, the sudden discovery, the big break that changed everything. They play the role of indie darlings who just went viral out of nowhere. But look a little closer. That so-called bedroom studio might actually sit inside a $1 million mansion their parents own. And that random viral hit? Carefully plotted by PR teams and label execs behind the curtain. They wear the DIY look, but real talk. The business machine was already running before you ever heard their name. Just look at Billie Eilish.
I've wanted to do this like my whole life, so I'm a little shaky.
Billie's got serious talent, no doubt. But that whole "we recorded Ocean Eyes in my brother's bedroom" story doesn't tell the full truth. What most people don't realize is that Phineas was already deep in the music game before that song ever dropped. Their mom was an actress, their dad played in bands, and they grew up right in the heart of LA's entertainment world. Billie was even homeschooled just so she could focus on making music. This wasn't luck, it was preparation from day one.
Homeschool.
Yeah.
Did that shape who you are and who you will be? Because
Yeah.
By the time Ocean Eyes hit the internet, Phineas was already moving like a pro, writing, producing, and making real industry plays. He had a manager, he knew the system, and Interscope didn't just discover them on SoundCloud like the fairy tale says. There was a whole setup in motion, with Danny Rukasin stepping in as Billie's manager, and guess what? Danny was business partners with Brandon Goodman, the same guy managing Fall Out Boy. So yeah, Billie's come up had serious connections from day one. These organic plants are genius moves. They keep that cool indie image while using big label muscle behind the curtain. Now let's get into the second category of plants, the obvious ones. These are the artists who come out of nowhere. One day they don't exist, and the next they're suddenly on every playlist. The push is so heavy that even casual listeners start noticing something's off. They're landing festival spots before they have real fans, getting late-night TV time before a full project, and dropping A-list collabs by their second single. The machine builds hype before they've even earned it. They'll have 50 million streams, yet nobody's actually playing their songs. They trend non-stop, but no one's really talking about them. It's that weird everywhere and nowhere fame. All pressure, hoping something sticks. Most times it fades quick, but when it hits fast. And the best example of that kind of rise, Ice Spice.
Once again, Ice Spice.
She went from a total unknown to collabing with huge names in just a few months. Crazy fast. Munch dropped in August 2022, and by October, people were already calling her the Princess of Rap. Then boom, she's at the Met Gala by May. Her video blew up on World Star Hip Hop, which isn't cheap. They charge serious cash for that kind of spotlight. But here's the kicker. Her label, 10K Projects, is owned by Elliot Grange, and his dad, Lucian Grange, runs Universal Music Group, one of the biggest in the world. So it's not just money pushing her, it's pure access. Every door in the industry opened at once. Another one who had a similar jump, the Kid Laroi.
Go, go, go. She always be talking like she no.
Now he's a tricky one. The Kid Laroi sparks non-stop debate. Some swear he's an industry plant, while others say his story's legit. And honestly, it's hard to know the full truth. His dad was a music producer and sound engineer, and his mom worked as a talent manager. She even started a company called Mama Capone Management to boost his career and the people around him. But here's where it gets messy. The story of him growing up in poverty doesn't totally match the early photos floating around. I can't confirm it, but the contrast is wild. Then out of nowhere, he's doing songs with Juice WRLD and Justin Bieber, like he just skipped every normal step in the game. It all felt like a fast track to global fame. And the latest name people love to debate in this same industry plant lane? Doechii. When you take in her versatility, stage presence, and raw energy, it's impossible to say Doechii isn't talented. She's got it. But the speed of her rise had people calling her an industry plant before she even got a real shot. She signed with TDE, Kendrick Lamar's label, which looks indie on the surface but is tightly connected to the big three, Sony, Universal, and Warner. She went from up-and-comer to Grammy winner for Best Rap Album like it happened overnight. At first glance, her story seems organic. She looked like a regular YouTuber grinding for recognition. But it's pretty clear some serious major label backing was behind her before the spotlight hit. There's a difference between building an artist and buying one, and big money can blur that line fast. But then comes the real twist. What happens when someone sells the story of being broke, alone, and 16, surviving in Miami with nothing? That's when we meet Amethyst Amelia Kelly, better known as Iggy Azalea, a white girl from Australia. But you'd never guess that just by hearing her voice. She hit the scene sounding like she grew up in Atlanta, rocking a full-on Southern accent that had everyone confused. The switch-up was wild, and people definitely noticed.
Better check my tax bracket. What you think was gonna happen? Nagging, now he's leaving, and y'all broke up like madmen.
She became obsessed with Southern hip-hop, and back then, that was a bold and unexpected move for an artist like her. I saw the potential instantly and rolled out the red carpet, signing her and helping build a full-blown persona from scratch. Suddenly, she's doing major interviews, landing features with stars like Charlie XCX, and the whole machine starts running full speed. At first, people loved her energy. Even a big part of the black community showed her love. She was welcomed in, celebrated, and as people like to say, she was invited to the cookout. But as time went on and racial tensions started heating up again in America, the love for Iggy flipped fast. She got dragged into the whole culture vulture debate, and once the culture turned its back on her, not even the industry machine could pull her out of it. The fall started right after her feud with Azealia Banks, the moment that really exposed the divide. It all kicked off when Iggy snagged the Grammy for Best Rap Album, and that win lit the fire that burned her image down.
You know what I mean? That Iggy Azalea shit is not better than any fucking black girl that's rapping today, you know? And when they give those awards out, because the Grammys are supposed to be like accolades for artistic excellence, you get what I mean? Iggy Azalea is not excellent.
The theys purchase things that they see themselves in, right? And businesses capitalize on that.
And that's fine. So put her in the pop category. Put her with Katy Perry and put her and Miley Cyrus in the same fucking box together.
Don't put her in hip hop.
Don't put her in hip hop.
But she's rapping over a beat though.
But just because she's not singing does not mean it's rap music.
Ultimately, all of this ended with Iggy Azalea stepping away from music for good. She switched lanes, becoming an OF model and a crypto entrepreneur, a shocking turn nobody saw coming. I think she realized she couldn't hold the image together. Not once hip-hop legends like Q-Tip started breaking it all down publicly. When icons start talking, the illusion doesn't stand a chance. It just proves a hard truth. When an industry plant's too obvious, too built on a gimmick, the fall hits just as fast as the fame ever did. But real quick, I just want to say thank you for watching and supporting Star Watch. If you're enjoying the video, please like it, share your thoughts in the comments, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Now, when we hit the puppet category, things start getting dark. And yeah, this part might make some people mad. These are the artists who didn't just play the game, they became the game, molded into exactly what the industry wanted them to be, not what they truly were. Sabrina Carpenter and Katy Perry fit this lane perfectly. Both started off with modest careers, nothing huge, until the industry heavyweights stepped in and rewired everything about them. Katy went from singing gospel to pop provocateur, while Sabrina transformed from a squeaky clean Disney star into a chart-topping pop machine. And then there's Tate McRae, the blueprint of a built pop star. She's been in the spotlight since she was 8, not for singing, but as a world-class dancer. Her mom ran a dance company and had her training since she was 6, grooming her for showbiz early on. Everything exploded once she dropped a YouTube video performing her original song, one day. It pulled in over 40 million views and turned her into the industry's next chosen face.
I've understood that you will never be mine.
Normally, you wouldn't label this kind of rise an industry plant. Justin Bieber had a YouTube start too, but in Tate's case, things got blurry when she suddenly shifted her image. She went from that sweet, emotional bedroom singer to a full-on pop diva. And even pop fans were shocked by the transformation. But the real story here is Lady Gaga. Back in 2005, Stefani Joanne Angelina Germanotta was just a talented pianist playing jazz in New York bars, wearing regular clothes and chasing her dreams. At 19, she signed with Def Jam but got dropped after 3 months because L.A. Reid said she wasn't marketable enough. That rejection changed everything. She studied what worked, analyzed Madonna, simplified her art, and turned herself into the kind of star the industry couldn't ignore, one built for fame. By 2007, she was unrecognizable, go-go dancing, setting Hairspray on fire, and living the performance. Then she met producer Red One, linked up with Akon, and dove headfirst into synth pop. The wild part? Gaga never pretended it wasn't a character. But even she learned, when you stop being yourself, there's always a cost.
I think real fans probably knew deep down that there was something going on.
You know, letting go of who I was before, and I don't mean becoming, Lady Gaga and leaving that behind. That's not what I mean by that. What I mean is, my life is different.
The Joanne era was where the cracks finally started to show. Gaga tried to tone it all down, stripping back the glitter and stepping out as Stefani again, searching for the real person behind the fame. But the crowd didn't want Stefani. They wanted the monster, the chaos, the full-blown spectacle, because that's what sells. But what if an industry plant didn't even need the spectacle? What if their success was guaranteed from the start, no matter how the music sounded? That's where we reach next industry plant level, the Nepo Baby. These are the industry plants who were born into the game, living it before they even had a career. They grew up hanging out in studios, eating dinner with label execs, and getting babysat by other celebrities. They'll talk about their grind and struggles, but let's be real. They had instant access to producers, writers, and studios the rest of us could only dream of. They could fail again and again and still get another shot. No questions asked. The Nepo Baby never truly risks it. Mommy and Daddy already paved the way. Willow and Jaden Smith were destined for fame before they even took their first breath. Willow dropped Whip My Hair at just 10 years old under Roc Nation, and when the pressure got too real, she simply quit. Then she came back whenever she wanted, switching from rock to indie with zero consequences. And then there's Blue Ivy. Sure, her voice acting in Mufasa, The Lion King was solid, but come on, should she really have a Grammy?
Congratulations, she won a Grammy tonight. I'm so proud of you.
Blue Ivy didn't just step into the spotlight, she was born under it. When your parents are Beyonce and Jay-Z, the stage is practically your playground. From red carpets to award shows, she was treated like royalty before even hitting her teens. And while no one denies she's talented, it's impossible to ignore how the industry cleared every path for her before she ever had to prove herself. Winning a Grammy at that age isn't just rare. It's the ultimate example of what happens when industry plant level 4 is written into your DNA. Now, this next Nepo Baby might shock some of you, but yeah, Drake fits the bill. Easily one of the most talented ones out there, no doubt, but let's be real, he didn't exactly start from scratch. Time to meet the Graham family. His dad, Dennis Graham, was a drummer for rock and roll legend Jerry Lee Lewis. That's serious industry bloodline right there. His uncle Larry Graham was a singer and bassist for Sly and the Family Stone, one of the most iconic funk bands ever. And his other uncle, Teenie Hodges, co-wrote hits for Al Green, pure music royalty. Before rap even entered the picture, Drake was making around $50 grand a year acting on Degrassi as a teenager. When that show wrapped, he already had the cash, the access, and the connections to fund his own mixtapes. Started from the bottom might be a great slogan, but let's be honest, his bottom looked a lot like middle class with VIP industry ties. But the most successful, and maybe the saddest of them all, is Industry Plant Level 5. The Super Plant. The final stage, where fame doesn't just shape you, it completely swallows you whole. The Super Plant is the closest thing to a robot the industry can create. They don't write their songs, pick their image, or even run their own social media. Every move is scripted. They just show up, play their part, and collect a check. Most of them started as kids, molded through development programs that controlled everything: what they ate, said, and even who they dated for publicity. Their whole life becomes content, and behind the scenes, it's usually pure chaos. Britney Spears is the most heartbreaking example of a super plant. When she was on the Mickey Mouse Club, it was basically a pop star boot camp. Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, all groomed for fame. But when Britney signed with Jive Records at 15, they built her image from the ground up. She could really sing, but they gave her that baby voice pop sound and even dictated her innocent persona, down to her supposed purity, all to sell the fantasy.
I'm wondering how you feel about all the constant speculation about your virginity and whether you are a virgin or not.
I really wish I would have never said anything to begin with, because I'm kind of stuck in this little place where people are always asking me. But, you know, that's just something that's part of growing up, and that's just something that we all have to deal with.
They wanted Britney to look young and innocent, yet still market her as provocative, a contradiction that broke her down from the inside out. By the time she hit her prime, she'd spent so many years in the spotlight that she started losing herself completely. The 2-day marriage, the umbrella moment, the shaved head, all proof of what happens when the pressure of fame becomes too much for one person to carry. Then came the conservatorship, which made it even darker. She was unfit to run her own life, but somehow fit enough to record albums and make millions for everyone else. Then you got K-pop, a whole new level of control. Over there, music isn't art, it's training. Kids as young as 12 become trainees, living in dorms, practicing 16 hours a day, and being molded into perfect idols. Everything from their diets to their personalities is pre-planned, and when they stop being profitable, the companies just move on and disband them. That entire system traces straight back to America, to NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. Both were created by Lou Pearlman, the manager who both bands later sued. He held the auditions, picked the members, wrote the music, and even pitted them against each other for publicity, all while secretly signing himself as a member to steal their money. At the end of the day, the superplant isn't free. They're just another product on the shelf, built, owned, and controlled by the industry. And there are still so many names we haven't even talked about. So tell me, who do you think deserves a spot on this list? Share your thoughts in the comments. I want to know who you think is an industry plant. And if you're into more wild stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for Star Watch, where the real stories never stop.